PhD and postdoc, you will be a bit in dilemma what to do, whether I can proceed next or not, in which field I have to do my research, what's my area of focus should be, all these kind of things. Like every day this question pops up: should I continue in academia or should I switch to industry? Big thing in research is novelty. So you can't do what other people already did. You should find your ikigai was the Japanese word. Like you should find the one thing which interests you every day. What we can do is, for example, if I take colorectal cancer, I can take the biopsy, I can create organoids, and then I can test drugs on these chip platforms. So, but I find few labs working on it, like organoids, for example, the prestige. I am sure some people in IISc, like Indian Institute of Science Bangalore, NCBS Bangalore, I see very few labs working on organoids. And
Dr. Ram, how are you feeling here?
I'm feeling good.
Okay. First of all, thank you for accepting my invitation and coming here. Okay, can you please introduce yourself?
Pleasure is mine, because as I'm the first one in this kind of podcast. So my name is Ram, and currently I'm a senior scientist at SKAN Research Trust, Bangalore. And before this, I did my PhD in Marie Curie Institute, Paris, with Marie Curie Co-Fund Fellowship. And after my PhD, I did a 2-year postdoc at Uppsala University, Sweden, in gut immunology. So, yeah, this is my background.
Wow, I think you have a very elaborate and very extensive academic background. So, okay, can you you had a research journey and you are still on to pursuing new achievements onto the field of research. But how do you say what is the objective you are trying to address in your research work?
So the thing is, that's the amazing thing about the research. So every day you get new questions popped up, and then you try to find the answers for it. So first, in PhD and postdoc, you will be a bit in dilemma what to do, whether I can proceed next or not, in which field I have to do my research, what's my area of focus should be, all these kind of things. Like every day this question pops up: should I continue in academia or should I switch to industry? But the thing is, at one point you will know, that's the gut feeling you have, like, okay, this is my area of interest.
Right.
And it shouldn't be your PhD topic, it might not be your postdoc topic, but one topic will obviously take you. So then you stick to it, and then you start to ask right questions, and you do your research, like what is all not done. And the basic thing in research is novelty. So you can't do what other people already did. You should find your ikigai, that's the Japanese word. Like you should find the one thing which interests you every day, because whatever you start now, you should be doing it like every day until you find some amazing things. Amazing things for you. It might not be for all, but so then you continue your journey. So that's my take.
Okay. So what was your research work like?
So currently my research work is to develop organ on chips, especially for the intestine. What I'm trying to do is to develop small intestine on chip using mouse model, and then we will try to see different things, we will develop organoids, especially with the Parkinson's mouse model. So then we develop organoids there, and we test the gut-brain axis involvement in the journey of Parkinson's, etiopathogenesis of the Parkinson's disease, and whether we can anyway isolate neuronal cells from the gut and re-inject them into the brain to see if we can get the degenerated part, some signal.
Okay.
So this is what I'm trying to do.
Wow, that's fascinating. So where do you see like how this work can be translated onto a healthcare system?
So actually, when you have this kind of organ on chip models, you can go for precision medicine. So initially, for example, if you have, for example, a person have cancer. So right now we have cancer drugs, and all cancer drugs go through clinical trials and stuff. But every drug might not suit you, or every dosage might not suit you, because that's why some people live longer and some people will die soon. Like it's one of the factors which is responsible for your survival. Once you are diagnosed with cancer. So what we can do is, like, for example, if I take colorectal cancer, I can take the biopsy, I can create organoids, and then I can test drugs on these chip platforms. And then I can see, okay, this drug at this concentration is working good for you. So, because I cannot completely replicate the whole organ on chip, because if some things will be missing, like the muscles will be missing and also blood vessels, so few things will be missing on this chip kind of platform, but the main epithelial cells and these kind of things, they always present. The stroma, epithelium, everything will be present. So, and if the cells die, there will be many things to see: the change in shape of the cells, or the cell death, cell proliferation, all these kind of things you can check on it. And then you can say, okay, this drug works good for you and this drug is not good for you. So this way patient will have a choice to decide based on data. Not just based on, okay, this study conducted by some European country and on some European population, and then we have to follow the same regimen. But because every individual is different and everyone's gut microbiome is different, so when we have everything different and our food habits are different, our lifestyle habits are different, so then but we cannot have the same treatment regimen, in my opinion. So I think it's with using this kind of models we can go for precision medicine, and which will change the scenario of all the treatment regimen on long term basis.
That's true. So organ on a chip is like when after you are doing a cell line work and then you want to see organ on a chip, and then the next step is going to the animal model.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm trying to do with animal model only, but later I want to go for the human model. So then you get samples from the humans, and then you do human gut on chip. So then you will get a wide range of accessibility. You can test many things. The basic thing is like the ethical approvals in place. I should get the ethical approvals, which I can get only when I prove the mouse model, gut on chip models. Then I can apply for the ethical approvals. Then I have to tie up with some doctors to get samples, and then to do the human gut on chip, then to test, because it's like a consent form from the patient as well. Okay, you can take my sample, you can create organoids, and you can test drugs on it. And also if there is any new drug, so if the thing is, once you develop organoids, you can freeze them and you can use n number of times. So you can, in the initial stage only, you can freeze many vials and you can use many times. It's like basic cell culture. So every time a new drug comes, you have a repository of all Indian population organoids, whoever consented for it. And then you can test those new drugs on already existing organoids. And then you can say, okay, so the basic data, you can get it from this kind of studies.
Okay. So presently, how many Indian institutes are presently working on organoids or organ on a chip model?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of hot topic now, especially in the gut. So, but I find few labs working on it, like organoids, for example, the prestige. I am sure some people in IISC, like Indian Institute of Science Bangalore, NCBS Bangalore, I see very few labs working on organoids and gut on chip, microfluidic platforms and stuff. But I think we have a long way to go, especially in Indian scenario. We have a long way to go.
Okay, so let's jump onto a new area of discussion. So till now we have understood, okay, organ on a chip and what are the different possibilities and your research interest precisely. But how we just want to go back, little back, okay, and then understand what had been your academic journey and how you landed up into doing research, and that to such extensive research, which you don't see people doing it on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, like normal routine Indian guy, I finished my +1, +2, and then after my 10th, I had a choice of whether to go to MPC or BPC. Only those two options were given to me by the institutes as well as by my parents as well. And then I was afraid of math, and then I never wanted to go in math field. So the only option left for me was science.
Okay.
So I finished my +1, +2, and somehow with all the rigorous special classes, rigorous study hours, and this kind of stuff, special batches. So I could get 90% in my +1, +2 together, but I couldn't crack my entrance exam for the medical entrance exam. So then obviously, like that's the I don't know, like, what are the options available. Like, I know there is MBBS, there is PDS, and there is B.Pharmacy. Apart from that, I don't have any clue like what I can do. So okay, my parents were like, okay, you can take one more year, to study.
Yeah.
So I took one more year, and from 30,000 rank to I came to 11,000. And then I couldn't get anything, not MBBS, not BDS, not B.Pharmacy also. B.Pharmacy is like very.
So that was a NEET exam you gave, or
it's a state exam.
Okay.
Where when I wrote, it's 100,000 people they attended the exam. So again, the question came up: what to do next? And again, my father suggested, okay, take one more year off. So then I took one more year off. Then I got 2,900, 800 something rank, but I could get only BDS, like dental. So I couldn't get MBBS. So I was like, okay. I just took whatever the option that came to me. So I never was interested in dentistry. The sad thing is, in dentistry, you sit along with MBBS people until your third year. So you attend the same class, you go to the same room, you get the lecture from the same teaching staff, but yet you are not the same. So I was not interested. I just studied to pass the degree and get the degree certificate. And once I finished my degree, I was not interested. Like, I know, like, I will not be a good dentist, and that's not my cup of tea. So then I started searching, okay, what I can do next. So then I came to know, okay, let's do something on oral cancer, because I studied for dentistry and I'm not interested. If I go and do something about oral cancer, then I think I'll be doing justice to what I studied without interest, and also to something which I'm interested in.
Okay, so it is more or less related.
Yeah. Then I can justify to my relatives, okay, I'm doing the same thing what I studied. Okay. I can give a valid response to my parents. Okay, I'm not deviating much. I'll be in the same field, but just here and there, adjustment. So then I started searching for the first time in my life what I want to do. So I searched, then I came to know a lot of European.
So you Googled?
Yeah, Googled.
Okay.
So I took 6 months off. So it was my internship. So in your internship, you get less cases compared to all the third year, fourth year people. You get less cases, and no one will check your each and every step. Like, you are a bit more or less like a doctor. So I utilized whatever the time I had. I utilized it to search. Then I came to know there are a lot of European universities which provide good scholarships, and you can go and study, and some scholarships even cover your monthly expenses. So then I started looking for it. Then I came to know about Sweden. So there is one cancer biology course in one of the universities called Hovde. So I thought, okay, but the price was a bit high for the masters, and the only thing I came to know that if you do a lot of community dentistry, a lot of camps, if you attend a lot of CDE, CDE sessions and this kind of stuff, I came to know then you will be considered for the scholarship.
Okay.
So for the first time, I attended all the camps. I checked OP and I treated as many as patients I can, because I get the certificate which I can put to show my dedication to serve. So then I put all
this was for a period of?
I did for like a whole 1 year.
Okay.
So the whole 1 year I did all these things. I got all the certificates, and then I put all the certificates saying I'm dedicated and blah blah blah. So I got a scholarship of 50%, and the fees were at the time, the fees for me was around 7 lakhs or 8 lakhs. Then comes the point of monthly expenses. So for the first month it was difficult, but the second month I got a part-time job, which paid me like well enough.
Oh wow!
So with that job I covered my monthly expenses. Then that's the beauty of European education system. You can enroll in one university, but for the thesis you can choose any university you want. So even you can go to prestigious universities for thesis. So you can write to a professor, and if he's interested, no one cares. You can just go there and do your thesis. And some professors would pay you also monthly expenses for the work you do there. So like that, I didn't get this any stipend, but my supervisor for my master thesis, he guided me very well, and he was the one who supported me all the way. And then when I was not getting my PhDs also, and that was another journey, like for 6 months or 6 to 8 months.
So this is between after completing your MS?
After completing my masters.
Okay.
So master thesis is a regular one which you do, kind of what you do in India, you do the similar thing there. But the thing is, you must have a good recommendation from your supervisor, and also things to support your work. For example, if you have submitted your paper and if your manuscript is in process, is under review or something should be there to show, okay, I came to this lab for thesis and I finished it on time and I submitted this paper. Something you should have that. A name on a grant proposal maybe. So luckily with the help of my supervisor, I got like 2 grants and 1 paper. So it enhanced my profile. But I was not getting any PhD applications. For 6 to 8 months I sat in the room with people going for job. Then you just get up early in the morning, have your breakfast, watch some movie, do a couple of applications, again have some food, again watch a movie, again do 1 application and sleep. So this was my routine for 6 to 8 months. And you get, obviously every day when you open your email, there will be a mail saying thank you for your application, we regret to inform you that we have chosen some other guy for this position, good luck for your career. So at some point you get depressed, like you came this way long and now you are not getting PhD. And I didn't had enough guts to apply for jobs because they ask for local language, Swedish. And I kind of know Swedish, but that was broken Swedish. There was no grammar missing here and there. So the Swedes had to focus more to understand what I was telling them. So
you learned there, or you?
No, I learned there. So I didn't put any effort here. That's one of my backdrops. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do later. But I didn't learn the language. So then my supervisor is half French and half US. So he said, okay, let's apply for Marie Curie fellowship. I said, like, what are you joking or what? Because Marie Curie is like one of the prestigious fellowships. He said, okay, let's apply and see what will happen. So I applied because of him, and then luckily I got my PhD position there. So when I went to France, then they taught me the French people are good at teaching you, they really teach you life lessons which you cannot forget. So once you go to France, like unlike they show in Bollywood movies or stuff, they always speak French. No one speaks English, no one speaks any other language, just French. So this just to say, like even in visa center for foreigners, they only speak French. You don't hear even a single word of English. And day-to-day communication, everything you have to do in French. So there I learned my French. I mean, where I can communicate here and there. But in the university, everyone speaks English. That's an international university. So then I finished my PhD, and then after PhD, obviously you have two ways to go to industry or to go to academia. But to be on safe side, many people take one postdoc and then decide, okay, what to do next. For me, I thought, okay, let's follow the same thing. Let's do one postdoc and decide. So after I went to Sweden for postdoc, it was a nice lab, but the thing is, like, there my health situation got bit deteriorated, and even after COVID, my parents' health situation got deteriorated. So I had to come back. So I started looking jobs in India, and now, like, what my notion was, it's completely different. And even in Indian scenario, like, initially I thought, like, okay, maybe the package will be less, or they will ask me to work Saturdays, or there will be no personal time, work-life balance and stuff. But now Indian companies also are following the same European kind of standards. So you get all the benefits, whatever you get in Europe, the same benefits you get here. But the thing is, we are more into, we follow that hierarchy. Your boss is like the the boss figure, and you always say, like, there is always a kind of respect, kind of fear, something. But in Europe, you will not have it. Even your boss will treat you as a friend, and you will be the same. How you speak with your friend, you speak the same way to your boss. But here it's kind of, for the teachers and boss, you get that kind of, you're not afraid, and at the same time you are not friendly. Something in between, that thing you follow here. So except that, everything is similar.
Marie Curie is a very prestigious fellowship, as of I know. How difficult it is to get a fellowship like this?
Actually, like, that's the initial step. We all fear that this is the prestigious fellowship, whether we will get it or not. We won't get it. There will be hundreds and hundreds of applications from all over the world. So why to try for that, even when you know the answer already? So let's go for some other things. Let's skip this, because the procedure is also a bit extensive. They ask you each and every detail of your life. And then I think many people don't apply for that just because thinking we won't get it, or it's waste of time, we know it already. And the procedure usually takes around 3 to 4 months. In the meantime, we can do hundreds of applications in local universities. So the thing is, you should get out of it and give your try. You should never stop trying. If you ask me, you should try. If you fail, you fail, it's fine. So you will learn something and you will move on. So it's like a relationship. So initially you will have the flying colors, then you fail, then you learn some things, and you move on to the next. So once you go through it, the good thing about this is they give you feedback, why they rejected you, where you don't get in many cases. So you should always apply to places where you get a feedback. If you have some publication and if you think it goes for nature, just apply for it. They give you feedback. The reviewers will give you feedback. It might take 6 months, 1 year, but the feedback is valuable, and you should always get that and check how you can rectify that. Whatever the mistakes you did, how you can rectify them. This is the important step, if you ask me. But the difficult thing is sitting and reading about the fellowship, because in Marie Curie also you have wide different range of fellowships for different nationalities and different things. For example, Marie Curie, and Marie Curie Co-Fund. So and Horizon 2020. There are different kinds of fellowships. So you should always sit and read each and every detail about the fellowship. Then you have to apply for it. Don't just apply blindly with a cover letter saying dear sir or madam. But if you are applying for something, sit, read about that position, and if any researcher name is given, read about the researcher, what the research interests are, and what are the publications, previous publications, and depending on that, prepare your CV and cover letter separately for each and every applications you do. So that's most important thing. Don't just do a random thing, dear sir or madam, and first para same, last para same, just change in between, one para in between. Don't do that.
These days I've seen students are more into chat GPT. So in the chat GPT they write their prompts and their statement of purpose or their objective of research, everything they think it is chat GPT work. Do you recommend that?
You can fake everything with chat GPT because that's not you. So you can get help from chat GPT for all the cover letters, but that's not you. And if it's not you, you will get caught in interview or during the first 6 months of your job. So make sure you can take help of ChatGPT to prepare the basic structure, but make sure you put your effort and explain, because the cover letter is like why you need that job. That's a single question for which you are writing one cover letter. Why I have to hire you? And if you don't be confident there, then I don't think you will crack the position. So you can impress the person with your cover letter, but when you sit one to one, then you will get caught. Because you will not be telling the same story there, because until unless you are good at acting. So make sure you take the help of AI. It's nothing wrong, it's made just for that only. But make sure you put your soul into it so that it more or less looks like yours.
Oh, coming to fellowships, so there are a lot of fellowships available these days, right?
Yeah.
And the procedure of applying for each of the fellowships, as you said, we need to understand the position which you're applying for. The fellowships have different requirements, whether you fit into those things and all. So it's a very cumbersome effect, right? It's a very extensive work, and as a student, most of the time I think they are not that well, like maturity wise, they are not well prepared to address those things. So is there any platform or is there any way where you can tell the students or the aspirants that, you know, when people are looking for fellowships, you should be doing some do's and don'ts maybe?
So for any fellowship, when you want to go abroad, the first thing you need to understand, or first thing you need to know about yourself, where you want to go. Depending on the place, fellowship changes. And if you want to go to US, search accordingly. If you want to go to Europe, search accordingly. But nowadays, all the social platforms, like for example LinkedIn, if you just type PhD fellowships or postdoc fellowships, then I really admire people who takes their time and prepare one Excel sheet regarding each and every fellowship, just like an abstract. Okay, who can apply, and which institute is giving the fellowship, how much will be the stipend or scholarship or anything, for how many years you will get it. So there are some people who want to do good for others. They prepared some Excel sheets. If you dig more into LinkedIn, if you search more in Google, you will get it. But the thing is, you need to sit, you need to read, you need to do all the homework.
Right. No, again, if I take a step backward, right? So let's suppose after class 12 plus 2, after your completion of your graduation, after your postgrad, which is the right stage where people should be opting for fellowships and try to move abroad?
So for one thing, in India, we are all about rat race. Okay, my son got 80%. How much your son got? My son cracked IIT. Whether your son cracked it or not. My son is going to so and so institute. He is in A batch, and I didn't see your son in A batch. Which batch he is, or not only specifically son, daughter, or anything. So we are in rat race. So the only thing we care is for marks. Okay, how much we got. If you got 10 out of 10, good. 10 out of 9, you could still do better. But the thing is, if you ask me personally, after plus 2, everybody should take some time off, because that's the age where you don't know anything, like which way to go, which course to choose, what to do. We don't know. So the thing is, that's the basic of all your academic career. Like all your academics foundation will be laid just after plus 2. So it's fine if you want to do science. By mistake you took math in plus 1 plus 2, but again you want to shift to science. There is always a case. For example, you could go for BTech Biotech. Even if you have an MPC background, you can go for BTech Biotech, and from then you can start your science career. And for example, okay, you took science in plus 1 plus 2, but you are interested in math. You want to do something related to that. There is always statistics, biostatistics, or there is always bioinformatics. So the thing is, you just need to know what you want to do, because I just can't go blindly. Okay, I took MPC in plus 1 plus 2, I'll just go continue with this, become some engineer. If you are not happy, then there is no point sitting later and crying. But you see, right? For example, if you see the present scenario, everyone would do first engineering, and then they sit and decide what to do next, what's their interest, or because engineering has become quite a norm. And also, you don't need to do engineering. You don't need to do any other fancy course. You could just do BSc computers, and if you learn few coding languages, and if you know how to write the code, you will become a damn good developer, and you will be hired by Microsoft or Google or something. You just don't need a fancy degree. You just need a right career guidance. You know what to do, which course will help you out. And in most cases, if there is a person who can guide you through this, it's well and good. If you don't have anyone, just take your time. I mean, losing 1 year in your life to understand what you want to do for the rest of your life, I don't think it's a crime or a mistake. It's a wise step to take. That's my stance.
Okay. Coming back to the fellowship part a little bit, because I have some of our relatives, known tools, they always say, after 10th there is a SAT examination. And if they have done that, I think then the higher education would have been much better. Do you agree to that, or should they do their masters here and then only move for
but you should ask the student first. Okay, if you do SAT, you can go for bachelor's in US, but to sit for SAT exam, your aptitude and everything should be picture perfect, whether the student is ready for that or not, and most importantly, whether he wants it or not. So if the student knows what he or she wants to do, then you can guide them anywhere. For example, if they want to become a NASA scientist, then you can see, then you will search accordingly. But that's more important. It's not what parents want their kid to do, but it's what the kid wants to do. And if he doesn't know anything, let him or her take some time off and go through all the courses, all the things, and then decide, okay, I want to do this thing, because it's their decision. not my uncles, not my aunts, not my grandfather's wish for me to become some good doctor or something. It's what I wish. I think everybody should stress more onto that.
Yeah, I think that's a good advice. But in India, the system, the parenting, how it has been, it is more like if the parents want them to be successful in the field of engineering, they will always try to pursue or pressurize their sons and daughters. Oh, go to the engineering field. I think there your future will be safe, and take a safe bet. And exploring the inclination of the child, the interest, the hobby, I think that is not very widely done, although it has improved over generations. What I believe these days, parents are at least talking about these things. But how important it is to address this question, sit with your child and talk to one on one. And also the other side is like, how smart are the kids to identify their interest zone and tell their parents. So this is like two-way. How do you see it?
So first thing, kids are smart. So if you force them to do something now, and later at some point they'll let you know, like, this is all your fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my fault. This is not what I want to do. This is all your dreams and your fault. So if I'm not successful, and it's on you, not me. If even they don't say at that time, at some point they will be depressed, and you will be going to a psychologist, taking him to a session, and then he will reveal. At some point they will reveal the true color. Okay, this is my father's wish, not my wish. This is what my grandfather did, not my thing. So instead of that, I really ask every parent, like, give the kid some time off. Everyone, they deserve that time. For example, that's why you get vacation, right? You work all over the year, and then you get vacation time because you need the time off. We work for Monday to Friday. We get the weekend off. Why? We deserve that after working from 9 to 6 for 5 days. You deserve that time. So I think every parent should think about that. Okay, like if you compare your kid, I think everyone should stop comparison. Like if you compare your kid to someone, I can compare you to someone of your age. For example, at 65, KFC founder founded a KFC, which is a $1 billion company, and now you are not the same person now. So the comparison comes, you compare your kids and your kids compare you to some other successful person.
Right.
So it doesn't go nicely anywhere. But I think in Indian scenario we like marks, and that's where educational institutes, international schools come into the picture. And I think it's a basic human tendency of destroying everything which works perfectly well, and then we preach about saving that thing again. We destroy the good education system, which our elders, they don't have any stress. Okay, and then we create the stress on our kids because our parents didn't guide us enough, because they don't know anything. They didn't put any pressure on you. As if you think you know everything, and you are putting the pressure on your kid to perform well. So that's the trouble comes, because you cannot be then you sit and feel, oh, my student failed, my kid failed, because you can't be the victim in the problem you created. So
okay. Yeah, I totally agree on that part. Now coming to like, when you see, so after your all these years of your academic expertise, when you look back, do you think there's something I could have done which could have improved my journey, or I would have been in a better position? Do you have any such feeling?
I could have saved some time, for sure.
Yeah.
Because in running behind MBBS, I lost 2 years of my time. Okay. At the end, I became a scientist now. But if I had done BTech Biotech or something, because BTech Biotech was booming during that time, and They were giving seats like anything. And if I had done that BTech Biotech also, I would have ended in the same position more or less very early in my life. Okay, because if I just had decided that, I would have gone to the same masters abroad, and then I would have done the same PhD. Because just because nobody guided me, just because the internet, I am that generation where the internet is like just taking its form, introduced. The desktop is like very big, like a small TV, everything with monitor, and even you will be getting around like 5 Mbps or something. Maybe I don't know whether I should blame my generation, or because now we didn't have enough information in my hand, but this generation, they have a lot of information. And if you ask me, both things are confusing. If you don't have enough information also, it's confusing what to do next, and if you have more options also, you will be confused what to take. So but the thing is, you just need like, for example, in Europe, I was in Europe for 10 years, so I could say they have a career counselor each and every path of their life, but we don't have that. So our teacher is itself our career counselor. Okay, you are bad in math, take science. You are bad in science, take math. Like, there is no a proper homework on that kid, but just based on one exam match, we say you didn't perform well in 10th, just take in science, take math. Later the person will be performing bad in math. So no one knows. So I think they should be given importance, like giving them the time specifically, like, okay, sit for a couple of months, decide what you want to do, explore options, because there are many tests after 10th. You can go for NDA, National Defense Academy, and also there are many army things where if you go after +2, they will also pay for your engineering or science, whatever it is, and then you will be getting job directly in army. So there are many courses like this which we are not aware of. And even after 10th, you can directly apply for some post office jobs. Like, they'll not only doing job, they'll encourage you to complete your +1 +2. They will encourage you to do your degree, everything. Like, there are a lot of options now.
So being in the job also, you can climb up the ladder and have a higher education. Oh, that's nice.
I came to know after like 5 to 6 years. After my BDS, I came to know about these things. Now we might have many, but we don't know. The choices are yours, that's true, but provided we know the options available. So like I'm also learning many things which I was also not aware of before this podcast. But that's a good insight. I think when we start doing it, as of now we have many information at our disposal, that I see it. But how do we, I feel the major challenge is to segregate the information in the right format and consume the right information so that we can act accordingly. That is where the challenge is. Obviously, if you ask me, there are a lot of fellowships in France. For example, Chaprac Fellowship, where for bachelor's or master's, you can go there and you can get monthly allowance as well. And also there are a lot of fellowships. For example, in Germany, there are DAD fellowships, scholarships for bachelor's and master's people. And there are also other fellowships in Germany. In Sweden, there is SI fellowship, where it gives you free education plus monthly allowance. And there are also individual institute fellowships, scholarships, where you get from 50 to 75% of scholarship, depending on the course and institute. In Norway, there is free education. So there are many other things which we don't know. So, and if you do your PhD and postdoc in Europe, and if you want to come back to India, there is Ramalinga Swami Fellowship and Ramanujan Fellowship, and which gives you money to come back to India to establish your own labs. So there are many things which we don't know, and as we don't know, we think we can't come back or we can't go. It's a lot of expenditure just for my masters. So this norm should be, nobody should go with this norm. You should always search. You should do your homework. Then you should decide what you want to do, where you want to do it, by going where. So if you do this, I think then you will be a happy person in your life, because you will be doing the thing what you wanted.
Right, and I think when you love what you do, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think we have covered quite a few important topics today. We explored your journey and then the different hurdles which you faced, and I wish that whoever is watching this podcast, they might also be immensely benefited because of this additional information.